Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa, and in this video we're going to have a look at how I completed the nose on this tiger step by step in real time. If any of these tips or tricks have helped for you today, please let me know in the comments below or add me on Instagram and tag me in your work because I would love to see what you're working on. Remember, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and let's get started drawing the nose. Alright, so what we're going to do is just finish off the last bit of this piece, which is this beautiful nose. So what I'm going to do first is go around the outline with some dark sepia where the dark sort of bits are and pick them out, and then we can fill in the colour in the nose. So what I've done on the back of a card here is just go in and figure out which colours I want to use for sort of which sections and that. So I've started off with the warm grey one, the light yellow ochre, then blending with the white, terracotta, some orange glaze for those really sort of highlighty bits up at the top right, sanguine, and then purple violet. So I've gone and done like a little swatch here just to get the colours that I want because I wasn't really sure which ones I wanted to use. So to start, we'll go and do the outline here. So there's no need to go in with a sort of base layer or anything, or get rid of any of the graphite because it's going to be really dark here anyway, and you don't want to go in with a light layer because then the light will show through, whereas this bit is actually really dark. So it's around like this. Nice and light, because if we make a mistake we can erase it. If you go in too hard too soon and make a mistake, it's really hard to get rid of. So nice circular motion so that we're getting all of the tooth of the paper, not too hard. And then we can go over in another layer, just in another angle to get all of the grain of the paper. Get a little bit harder. And then over the top of the nose. And this line is really thin, so we're going to go really light. And it's sort of where the hair goes over the nose a little bit. Like that. Perfect. And then down the bottom here, it's a little bit dark up here. And then a little bit of a line here. Perfect. So now we're going to do our plan that we have on the back of the card. So we'll start with the warm grey one. So there's no like highlights or anything that we need to preserve in this nose, so it makes it a little bit easier. So making sure to try not to go too much into the dark area that we've just put down, because that will transfer into the warm grey one area, and we sort of want to make this nice and bright and colourful and not put too much grey in there. So in a couple of different ways, covering all the tooth of the paper, making it nice and smooth. And then the light yellow ochre. So this will go pretty much all over. Same motion as before, so like small circular motion, getting all of the grain of the paper, going a couple of different ways as well, different directions. Really light layers, same pressure the whole time. Perfect. And then we'll use the white to blend. So just make sure my white is nice and clean. Nice and smooth. So this will dull down the colour to make it not as sort of bright yellow, but like a muted yellow. And then makes the paper nice and smooth so it looks like a nice shiny nose. And then we'll go in with the terracotta. So this is where we start to have a look at where all the darker areas are. So on this side of the nose here, I might actually just sharpen that a little bit. It's not sharp enough. So a little bit darker on this side of the nose. Towards this side, and there's a little bit of yellow on the very right hand side, so we'll leave a little bit there to make it seem a lot more yellow. Again, small circular motions, getting darker in certain areas, but that doesn't mean that you use a different pressure, it just means that you go over in more layers. So same pressure, around in different areas. So we want to make this nice and orange, this nose. Sort of getting to the tone that we want. A little bit darker up at this area. So go a couple more layers over there. Keep this right hand side yellow, so not going over that with the orange. And then down here. Alright, and then the orange glaze. Might just sharpen him a little bit too. Makes my table sway, sorry. And then sort of on the right hand side just here is a really sort of really orangey section. So we're going to go in with the orange glaze to brighten that up. Again, nice light pressure. A little bit darker over here. So we're just paying attention to the reference photo, seeing where all of those sort of really orangey areas are. Go in lightly with the orange glaze. Because the orange glaze is a pretty full-on colour, if you go in with a hard pressure it will look really bright and sickening and not realistic, but if you go really soft it sort of smooths it out just nicely. And then now some Sanguine in some of the darker areas. So this top section. And then there's a couple of little bits in here that are like little dots and things in his nose. So we're going to add them in too. Just blend it in a little bit more with the yellow. Nice and smooth. And then a bit more orange. It's a bit darker. Perfect. So there's also a bit of pink and a bit of purple. So we're just going to go in a little bit with the pink up here. You won't be able to see it very much, but it'll add a little bit of dimension and a little bit of like a glow. So there's a bit of pink there. And then the purple is sort of up the top. So where it's sort of darker up here. And we'll use the purple to outline the nose a little bit. And then we can also go over with the dark sepia after. So making this nice and dark. Might even go a little bit more with the Sanguine here. A little bit darker. And so this isn't like a straight line, so you need to make sure that you're making it like there's little bits of fur coming over. And this will eventually lead into the dark section under the nose. Yes. Go in here with the darker purple as well. So now we need to darken up this section. So what we'll do is use a bit of the Walnut Brown to start with, just to help darken it up. So using a different, like a range of small circular motions and like back and forth. Perfect. And then there's a little bit of purpley blue sort of tinge, so I'm going to use the Delft Blue. Delft Blue is great for really darkening up areas and making it look sort of deep and interesting rather than sort of flat colours. And working with the brown, it will sort of make it sort of like a grey dark colour. around there. And then I might even just go in with the purple, because there's purple in the top here, so we want to sort of match that in here as well. So we're not using too hard a pressure. It's like a medium pressure. Go in again and start darkening this up. So now we've added some of the dark bits, and you can see this nose needs to be blended in a lot more. And so there's some really dark, like some spots here. So we'll just go in a little bit harder. And then slowly, lightly blend it out a little bit. There's like a harder spot here. And one here. And then a little bit here. Perfect. Blend a little bit more with the terracotta. It's a real sort of like purpley pinky section here. Just gonna go over there, the purple lightly, sort of like a glazing. And then some more yellow to blend and to brighten it up again. And then straight away with the dark sepia, nice and dark. So then this is when we want to sort of get the right shape of the nose. So it goes this way, and then this. So nice hard pressure now. What I can use as well for these really dark sections is if I have a black pen, a black artist pit pen, and you can go into like the really dark sections, sort of lightly, sort of put a little bit down, and then get your dark sepia and then sort of shade it in. So it won't look like a sort of dark, harsh line or anything. It's sort of blended in. Circular motions. Perfect. And then we'll get it nice and dark. Especially at the moment, because I'm sort of having a little bit of trouble with my paper. It's good to be able to cover the tooth of the paper without really ruining the paper by putting too much pressure down. You can just go in with the pen and it sort of covers it up really well. Perfect. Cool, so then under here, this section goes quite dark into the like nose. And this section goes quite dark, and this is blended up. And this is a bit of a, what colour is this? It's like a purpley colour. So we use a purple to darken this section. So purple on the orange will sort of make it like a grey effect, but not so dark and harsh. Turn the orange up, nice and orange, yellow even. And then nice sharp pencil, nice crisp edge. More sanguine. Get my sanding block. Make this nice and sharp. Blend it in. More purple at the top here. Nice and orange. Cool. So the final sort of bit that we need to do now is just fixing up and adding the final bits of fur all the way up to the edge of the nose. I don't really like to do that until I get the nose in, just so that you don't want to go over anything that you shouldn't. And then we can go sort of off the side here. So on the nose, this goes up a little bit more. And then there's sort of little bits of black and fur lines that need to come off to make it sort of look like it's sitting in the fur, not just on the end of the nose, so it's like blended in. So we can go down here and add some like little fur lines with the dark sepia. And on the very edge of the nose, it's quite dark, but then there's white fur right here. We can finally go in and really sharp pencil just for these final little details. Make sure that you're not just doing straight lines, like you need to do little bits. So what I'm sort of doing is going in and little wiggles, and then flicking my pencil up to portray like little bits of fur coming over the nose. So when you do it sort of bigger, it's like this, and then flicking up, and then going around in the shape of the nose as well. So it's not a straight line. Having a like sanding block is really good for these little areas, because you can get those really fine lines. Perfect. There's another little black bit right there. Cool, so that's the nose. Pretty cute. What you can do as well is go over with your white again, blend it all down so that it looks all really nice and smooth, and then add in a little bit more colour if you feel like it needs it. But he's looking pretty cute. So what I'll continue to do now is just go and add all of this fur here, and then there's fur over this side that I really need to fix up because it's looking a bit flat and not sort of shaping with the face or anything. So crack on with that, and then we're nearly done. Exciting. So I hope this tutorial has helped you, and like I said before, if you do complete anything like this or these tips have helped, please put a comment in the comments below and let me know how you went. If you would like to see how I completed the eye, please make sure to have a look at my real-time video for the tiger eye as well. And then there's also a tutorial for the full tiger piece and how that was created, including some of the fur strokes and fur direction and the fur techniques. So again, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe for more tutorials to come, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Like a light, lighting up in the dark. You make it right, I forgot how to act. It's so classic. Every time you make me nervous and I lose my words. It's been a while since I